Hey everyone, and welcome. Let's jump right into this explainer. So, if you've ever worked in AutoCAD, you definitely know the feeling of a project growing from a simple, innocent sketch into just an absolute monster of a file. Today, we're talking about how to transform those chaotic, super heavy AutoCAD files into streamlined, beautifully coordinated projects. And the secret weapon here? Mastering external references, or Xrefs. We're going to break down exactly how you can use them to take complete control of your next massive project. Here's our roadmap for today. We'll start with the problem with large projects, define what AutoCAD Xrefs actually are, and then walk through a step-by-step workflow. After that, we'll explain attach versus overlay, look at a real-world coordination example, and finish up with some best practices. Let's get moving. Section 1. The problem with large projects, the chaos of manual copying. I want to ask you this directly. What actually happens when 5 different disciplines, say architecture, structural, electrical, mechanical, and plumbing, all try to edit one single AutoCAD file? I mean, I'm sure some of you are shuddering just thinking about it, right? The file instantly becomes a crowded nightmare. Layers multiply completely out of control, you get duplicated objects everywhere, and tracking revisions, it's practically impossible. Worse still, one accidental edit by the structural team can completely ruin the electrical designer's hard work. Manually copying and pasting updates across disciplines is just a recipe for total disaster. Section 2. What are AutoCAD Xrefs? The smart solution to project bloat. So what is this magic fix? An external reference, or Xref, is a separate drawing file linked to a host AutoCAD drawing. It acts as a live window to display current contents without converting them into editable objects. Think of an Xref like a live television broadcast. You're looking at a screen playing the architectural plan inside your electrical drawing, but you aren't actually touching the architect's walls. AutoCAD reads the referenced file from its save location and simply displays it. This keeps everyone's responsibilities safely separated. You don't own the architecture, you're just using it as a background. Section 3. Step-by-step Xref workflow. Structuring the connection. Phase 1 is all about preparation, and honestly, you absolutely cannot skip this part. First, you have to organize the project folder systematically. A confusing folder structure basically guarantees missing references later on, so use clear file naming and agree on a revision system before anyone even starts drawing. Second, confirm your units and drawing coordinates. If one person is working in meters and someone else is in millimeters, well, you're going to have a massive problem. Finally, open up the External References palette in AutoCAD. This is your main command center for checking reference names, paths, and statuses. 0, 0, 0. This right here is the golden rule for shared project origins. If every single discipline agrees on this exact shared coordinate up front, it makes placement entirely automatic. When the structural file is attached at 0, 0, 0, the columns instantly align perfectly with the architectural grid. No manual dragging, no guessing where things go by eye. It's a massive relief for anyone who's ever tried to manually line up a 3-story building. Moving on to Phase 2, execution. First, you attach the required DWG file using the palette. Second, you must choose the correct path type, which we are going to look at in just a second. And third, you reload when the source updates. Remember, the host drawing doesn't store a permanent copy of the geometry. It's just reading the source file when required. So, when the architect updates a room, you just click Reload and boom, the new layout appears. No manual copying needed whatsoever. Choosing your path type is incredibly vital. A full path stores the complete C drive location, which breaks instantly if you send the file to a colleague. A no path just searches your current folders, and that can get really confusing really fast. But the relative path, that is the practical sweet spot. It stores the location relative to the host drawing itself. This means if you package up your main project folder and move it to a shared network drive or send it over to a consultant, the internal relationships stay perfectly intact and your project doesn't break. To build your daily workflow control, you've got to know the difference between unload and detach. If your screen is getting a bit too crowded while you work on a specific local task, you want to unload. This temporarily hides the reference, but the saved connection is still right there for when you need it later. You only ever use detach when a file is completely obsolete and you want to remove the reference and its connection from the host drawing forever. Definitely don't confuse the two. Section 4, Attach versus Overlay explained, controlling the flow of nested files. Now, what's really interesting about this slide is understanding how these two functions behave. An attached Xref continues into other drawings through nested referencing. So if drawing B is attached to drawing A, and you attach A to C, B is coming along for the ride. But an overlaid Xref appears only in the current host drawing and stops right there. Why does this matter? Well, if an electrical designer overlays the architectural plan to do their lighting, that architectural plan won't automatically show up again when the master coordinator attaches the electrical file. It prevents the architectural background from showing up twice in the master file, which avoids heavy duplicate backgrounds and those dreaded circular references.
Section 5, a real-world coordination example, the 3-story educational building.
Let's look at our team setup for this project. We have 5 different disciplines working independently: architecture, structural, electrical, mechanical, and plumbing. They each have their very own files. They're all using the architectural plan overlaid as a background for their services. And finally, there's a master combined coordination drawing that brings everything all together. Everyone is working in parallel, totally smoothly, staying right in their own lane. But then the inevitable happens, right? A design revision. The architect decides to move a storage room partition wall by 600 millimeters. Now, back in the old manual days, every single discipline would have to figure out where that wall moved, copy the new wall, paste it in, delete the old one, and just cross their fingers that they got the right spot. But because they are using Xrefs, the architect simply hits save on their file. That's it. And here is the beautiful ripple effect upon reload. When the other teams hit that reload button on the architectural Xref, they instantly see the consequences across the whole project. Electrical immediately discovers that their light switch is now hidden behind a door swing. Mechanical sees that their ventilation duct is now crashing straight through the new wall location. Plumbing checks their file and confirms they're perfectly clear. The project coordinator can update the issue register instantly. This right here proves the massive, undeniable coordination strength of the Xref workflow.
Section 6, best practices and expert support, mastering the Xref environment.
Okay, let's rapid fire through these common mistakes you absolutely must avoid. Number 1, binding references too early. Binding converts the external reference into permanent content inside your file, completely breaking that live connection we just talked about. Number 2, moving Xrefs manually by eye. Never, ever drag a reference. It destroys your project coordinates. Number 3, ignoring unmatched drawing units, which leads to massive scaling errors. Number 4, renaming source files in your computer folders without updating paths inside AutoCAD. Doing that will instantly break your project. And lastly, exploding reference geometry. Just don't do it. To stay out of trouble, you really want to rely on these professional control practices. First, keep your source drawings perfectly clean. No random test blocks just floating off in space. Second, use layer states so you don't have to manually freeze and thaw extra layers every single time you switch from working to plotting. As we mentioned earlier, absolutely agree on one project origin upfront. Keep your folders tidy by archiving superseded files in a completely separate folder. And always, always use the eTransmit command when sharing the project so AutoCAD automatically bundles up all the required Xrefs for you. Now, if you're a student or a learner tackling these concepts, you might actually know the AutoCAD commands, but you might struggle with the why and the when of organizing it all. And that is exactly where Assignment on Click becomes an incredible resource. They specialize in connecting technical CAD processes to a structured, supported learning approach. They can really help clarify the decision-making process behind project setups, layer controls, and file coordination, ensuring your academic submissions show true professional workflow understanding, not just a pretty final image. The source material sums up our final takeaway perfectly with this quote. Using Xrefs in AutoCAD changes a large project from one crowded drawing into a connected set of controlled files. It's truly all about moving from chaos to control, keeping everyone in their own lane while working together seamlessly. So, I'm going to leave you with this provocative question for your next drafting session. Are you building a smart, coordinated master file, or are you just building a crowded drawing? Take a moment to think about how you can apply these Xref strategies today to completely streamline your workflow. Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer, and hey,